Hi there, Tutor Abednego here. Welcome to today's session. Alright, so we continue with our series of videos meant to help the grade 12s as they are preparing for their Mathematics Paper 2 exams. So we are currently solving Mathematics Paper 2 Internal, Section A, and we are now on question 3. So the question says, find the equation of the curve for which dy dx is equal to 12x cubed minus 4x plus 5 at the point 0, -2, and this question carries 3 marks. Alright, so what we have here is a differentiated function, and what we need to do in order for us to find the equation of the curve, we need to first of all integrate this function. So we're going to say y is equal to 12x cubed minus 4x plus 5. Yes. Okay. So now to integrate a function, you simply add a 1 to the power of x, and then you divide by the same expression that you have up there. So we're now going to say y is equal to, bring in the integral sign. So we add a 1 to the power of x there, and we divide by this expression, 3 plus 1, okay, minus 4x. Here x is raised to the power of 1, so we're going to say 1 plus 1 over 1 plus 1 plus 5. Whenever you're differentiating, integrating a function, whenever you're integrating a constant, you add an x, and then you raise it to the power of 0, and then you say plus 1. So we divide by 0 plus 1 as well. And then whenever you are integrating, you always add a constant value. So at this point, we can go ahead and simplify what can be simplified. So they are going to have 12x to the power 3 plus 1 gives us a 4 over 4 down here, minus 4x 1 plus 1 gives us a 2 over 1 plus 1, 2, plus this will just give us 5x plus c. Okay, 0 plus 1 is 1. When the power of a variable or a term is 1, you don't write it. So instead of x, writing x to the power of 1, we simply say x. And then we can simplify there. 12 divided by 4, it will give us 3. 4 divided by 2 there to give us 2. So meaning, what we're now going to have is 3x to the power 4, because 12 divided by 4 is 3, okay, minus 4 divided by 2 there will give us a 2, so 2x squared, and then plus 5x plus c, plus 5x plus c. So this is pretty much the equation of the curve, but we need to find the value of c. So now there are coordinates that were given to us. We have 0, -2. We are asked to find the equation of the curve at the point 0, -2. So in order for us to find the constant, the c, we need to plug in the x and y coordinate. Okay, so the first coordinate we have there is the x coordinate, and then the second one is the y coordinate. So where there is y here, we're going to plug in -2, and wherever there is x here, we're going to plug in a 0. So meaning we're now going to say, let me just write it this way, y is equal to 3x to the power 4 minus 2x squared plus 5x plus c. And then we substitute the values now. So y is -2 there. We'll plug in -2. And then x is 0. So wherever there's x, we plug in a 0 minus 2, 0 to the power 2 plus 5, 0 plus c. So you notice that the zeros are simply going to cancel everything, because this will give us a 0, that will give us a 0, that will give us a 0. Meaning we just remain with c this side. So c is equal to -2, or you can simply say c is equal to -2. So now that we know the value of c, we can go back to this equation, and then where there is c, we plug in the actual value for c. So meaning, therefore, the function, the equation of the curve at the point 0, -2 is going to be this one here. Okay, where they see we've plugged in the actual value for the constant, and you are done. So that's how you solve that question. We now come to the second one, which says the nth term of a geometric progression is given by 180 open bracket half close bracket to the power n. Find the first 3 terms of this GP. So you take note to say, to find the terms when you're dealing with GP, use the formula Tn is equal to ARn minus n minus 1. But in this case, they want us to use a different formula. So instead of using this formula, we're going to use this one they provided in the question. So when you are using this formula, one thing you need to take note of is that when you're finding, let's say for example, you're finding the 8th term, where there's n, wherever there's n in this formula, you're going to put what? You're going to put 8. Okay? If you're finding the 10th term, wherever there's n in this formula, you're going to put a 10. If you're finding the 20th term, wherever there's n in this formula, you're going to put 20. So now, since we're using this formula, meaning wherever there is n, we're going to plug in the term we're trying to find. So we're asked to find the first 3 terms of the progression. So what we're going to do is we're going to write down that formula. So we're going to say Tn is equal to 180 1 over 2 the power n. So since we want to find the first term, while there is n, we're going to put a 1, which is equal to 180 1 over 2, and then we say 1 there. So T1 is going to be equal to 1 to the power 1 is 1, 2 to the power 1 is still going to be 2. So there's multiplication going on here between this 180 and this bracket. So we can simplify by saying 2 there, 1, 2 there gives us 90. 90 times 1, 90. So the first term is 90. We come to the second term. So we're going to say Tn is equal to 180 1 over 2 to the power n. Since we're finding the second term, we're going to put a 2 where there's n. And then we're going to say 180, open square bracket, 1 over 2 to the power 2. Since we're finding the second term. Then we can simplify. T2 is going to be 180, open bracket, 2 to the 1 to raise the power of 2 is just going to give us 1. Over, what is 2 squared? 2 squared gives us a 4. And then there we can simplify by simply saying 4 there, 1. 4 into 180 should be 45. 180 divided by 4 gives us 45. 45 times 1 there will give us 45. So this is the second term. And then now to find the third term, we're going to say Tn is equal to 180, open square bracket, 1 over 2 to the power n. So Tn, so T3, since we're finding the third term now, is going to be equal to 180, open 1 over 2, close the power 3. And so we're now going to say 180, open square bracket, 1 to the power of 3 is 1, 2 to the power of 3 is 8. Okay, then for this one, we're going to solve it this way. We're going to say 180 times 1 is 180 over 8. Okay, T3 is going to be 180 divided by 8 divided by 8 gives us 45 over 2, which we're going to simply convert to a decimal. We'll put it as 22.5. So the first 3 terms, therefore, of this AP are going to be 90, this one here, and then 45, 22.5. If you want, you can put it in fraction and simply say 45 over 2, and we are done. So for us to answer the rest of the question, we simply need to take note of at least the first 2 terms. So the first term is 90, second term is 45, because we need to find the common ratio for us to answer the remaining questions. So the first term is 90, second term. So we can simply write the entire progression there, 22.5. So the common ratio is given by the formula T2 over T1. So R is therefore going to be, what is T2? This is T2, this is T1, this is T3. So T2 is 45 over 90. 45 into 45 is 1, 45 into 90 is 2. So the common ratio is 1 over 2. We can now go ahead and answer the next question. We've actually answered it. So this is number 2. Okay, that is our common ratio there. We now come to this one, which is the sum to infinity. So to find the sum to infinity, This one is determined by the common ratio. If the common ratio is less than 1, then you can find the sum to infinity because that particular progression converges. If the common ratio is greater than 1, you can't find the sum to infinity because that particular progression diverges. So our common ratio is 1 over 2, meaning we can find the sum to infinity. So the sum to infinity is given by the formula that is A over 1 minus R. So this is when R is less than 1. So sum to infinity is going to be equal to, what is our A? Our A is 90. The first term is 90 over 1 minus R is 1 over 2. Or if you want, you can actually put it as a decimal. 1 over 2 is the same as 0.5. Since you're using a calculator, so it's fine. You can still work with decimals. Okay, so 90 over 1 minus 0.5 is 0.5. So you can simply say sum to infinity is going to be 90 divided by 0.5, and it gives me 180. So that is our final answer, and you are done. Alright, so that is that for today's session. In the next session, we're going to be answering the question on construction. Yeah, so that's a video that I'll upload tomorrow at 05 hours. So if you found this video useful, be sure to give it a like. That will tell me to say someone actually benefited from this video. And if you know any grade 12s, please invite them over so that they can be able to benefit from these free videos that I am currently uploading. Otherwise, that is that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow at 05 hours.